Hey everyone! Oh my gosh, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want because I don't like putting myself in a box. And today we have to talk about Wicked. If you guys don't know, because I don't really talk about it on my channel for some really odd reason, I'm a theater kid. I've grown up doing theater my entire life. Sorry guys, I'm literally gonna fix my hair right now because I hate having this like bump situation on my hair. For those who don't know, I've grown up doing theater my entire life. I started with dance when I was 3 years old, and then I started theater when I was 5 because we had a company from Montana, because I am in North Dakota, come and do a production once a year in our school for like a week, and we would do productions, and that was my intro into theater. And so I grew up doing theater from the time I was 5 years old, and I've done it ever since. And so yeah, theater is my passion. For anybody who knows me personally, you know that I don't talk a lot about theater on my channel, and actually that's kind of the origins of my channel. And so I literally apologize for my hair, you guys. It's crazy. Um the joys of having naturally curly hair. But this movie is extremely special to me. The company that I started with, once we graduated 6th grade. So I did it all throughout elementary school, and my elementary school was kindergarten until 6th grade. And so once you graduated 6th grade, you would get asked to come back as an alumni to then do the bigger roles. As how the cast was, the older you were, then you would come back and do the leads, because generally the older kids would not audition anymore, and so they needed the older kids to do the leads. And so I came back, and 8th grade year, they were doing Wizard of Oz. And for those who don't know, Wicked is the story of the Wicked Witch of the West before Dorothy comes in, and a lot happens. And I'm not doing spoilers on this. If you guys want spoilers, there are a bunch of other videos on YouTube that you can check out. Um, and when I was in 8th grade, there was a really popular show on Nickelodeon called Victorious. And there's an episode that makes absolutely no sense. And it is the April Fool's episode. And I love Jade West so much. I love Liz Gillies, and she may or may not have contributed to my gay awakening. I've always known I was gay, but she may or may not have like solidified my gay awakening. Um, and they did a Wizard of Oz bit, and she was the Wicked Witch of the West. And so that was during the time of literally my audition for this play. And I was like, oh my God, we're doing Wizard of Oz. I want to be the Wicked Witch of the West. I auditioned. And sure enough, I got the Wicked Witch of the West. And it was just so special because my counterparts, my Dorothy and my Glinda, were sisters. And it was just everything. And this was the time in my life where I finally realized, oh, this is my thing. I I realized I wasn't athletic. I did sports my entire life. I tried a bunch of different sports, you guys. Like, I was a really active kid. Like, yes, I might have been like obese and on the heavier side because of a medical condition, a rare medical condition, but I was still a very active kid. And so I just was not athletic. And I had a sibling who was athletic. I had one who was artistic in the way that they could draw literally anything. So they kind of had their, like, place in the family, I guess their role in the family, and then I also had a sibling. There's 3 of us in total. I'm the last one, and, um, one of them also took the role of being the academic one as well, and I struggled academically. For those who don't know, I have a learning disability, and it was really hard for me to find my role in the family, and it wasn't until 8th grade year doing Wizard of Oz and playing the Wicked Witch of the West, that I found my home, my place in the world, and so that is why she is so special to me. So, this movie and this character really truly means a lot to me, and yeah, um, I relate to her a lot. A lot, and so, yeah, oftentimes it's us theater kids who are the outsiders in society, and unfortunately, society wants to paint a narrative and, of who we are, and especially, me who identifies as a lesbian, and theater kids, a lot of us are a part of the LGBTQ community, um wow. I knew I was gonna cry in this, you guys, because I knew this was gonna get really emotional for me. Um, okay, cool. Crying in a video, I can mark that off my my bucket list here. A lot of us who are in theater aren't just outcasts. Um, we are, but we're also outcasts and a part of the LGBTQ community, and, a lot of us see ourselves in Elphaba, and that's really hard. And so we relate a lot to her story because with being LGBTQ, unfortunately, we still live in this world where society um paints a narrative of the community that just is not true whatsoever. Um, that where, some of us are pedophiles and that it's wrong, and especially when you're mixing, like, religion into it, and that's not at all what our community is. That's not what our community, I don't know, like, stands by or whatever, and it's so effing hurtful, you guys, and so this is why this show is so special, and I don't think a lot of people understand why this movie or this musical is so special to a lot of us theater kids. And if you're not LGBTQ, you can relate to it in other ways of being an outcast and being different. Also being somebody of color, that's a whole nother conversation. Because again, people wanting to paint a narrative of who you are just based off of skin color, it's all still relevant, and this is why this show is always going to be relevant. So, there's that. There's kind of the importance of this movie for you guys. Okay, cool. Glad we got our emotions out of the way, but this is a safe place on the internet. So, I do want to put this out there as well. If you are LGBTQ, if you're a color, whatever the fuck you are welcomed on my channel. This is a safe place for everybody. I welcome you with warm arms. You are seen, you are heard, you are welcome on my channel. There is no judgment whatsoever. I welcome you with warm arms, and there's a hug from me to you. So, this movie was phenomenal. I think it did a wonderful job of separating itself from the stage version. I know something that scares all of us theater kids is, um, the fact that our industry is dying. Live theater is literally going to probably fade away at some point in time. And, it's important to remember that there's space for both things here. And I think this film version is proving that. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm gonna take care of this real quick. I should have just brought the tissues over here if I knew I was gonna get this deep and emotional with you guys, but excuse me, you guys. So, as I was saying, I think this film is doing a great job um oops, of separating itself from the stage version and proving that there's space for both if you do it the right way. I think it really left the magic of the stage version alone and added a different kind of magic to the film version. Um, the thing to always remember, you guys, is that nothing can replace the magic of stage. You know, whether you are doing it on Broadway 8 shows a week or you're doing it for just a weekend or whatever the case may be, nothing's going to be able to replace the interaction of a live audience, right? The thing is, you make a film and you have no clue how the public is going to react to it. Whereas when you are doing it on a stage, you get to have moments of interacting with your audience, whether that's in a song or a moment of dialogue in a scene or whatever. Even like during bows, I've had moments of looking at somebody during bows in a show. Um, you don't get to have that with film, so it's important to remember that. I just think this was so beautifully done. I think the way that they did color was amazing. Um, I would not have thought of doing it the way that they did it. I can say this because this isn't a spoiler whatsoever. You see it in the trailer, but the way that they use insects and like the animals and stuff, like this environment to bring more color to the scene was so smart. I was like, I would have never thought of that. So that was really great because I was just watching a review and they were saying it was Super Carlin Brothers, who I love. I love Ben and Jay so much. Um, and they were saying like we're getting so sick of movies being so like on the dark side, kind of like they do a lot of Harry Potter stuff on their channel. And I'm a huge Potterhead as well, like most theater kids. We're all just huge theater nerds and Potterheads and Disney nerds as well. It's what we are. Um, and so a lot of movie musicals and just movies in general are very much like the last few Harry Potters where the saturation is like you need a flashlight to see what's going on screen. And so it was nice to finally have something that was bright and so colorful, but it wasn't like so bright and in your face where you're like blinded. So that was really nice. I'm a dancer, as I mentioned in the beginning, and oh my god, the choreography. I loved it. I did watch In the Heights, which Christopher Scott, who's the choreographer of this, I just slammed the tissue box and there was so much dust everywhere. My allergies are going to love that. Um, Christopher Scott, who did the choreography for In the Heights, which I did watch, phenomenal. I love the choreography in within the Heights. I thought it was so, so good. I thought I was being really annoyed with kind of the sound of it. Um, I apologize, you guys. The amount of spam calls. I thought I was getting really annoyed with some of the like sounds of like the steps. But then choreography-wise, I was like, "No, like, this makes sense." And I thought there was one number that I thought was so genius, and I so thought it was so in the heights like, and I was like, "I love this. I love this." And at first, like, the set of it didn't make sense. You guys saw it in the trailer, and, it's Fiero's song, Dancing Through Life with the books, and I was like, "This doesn't make sense, like, looks fun," but I thought it was really smart because the thing is Broadway is very athletic, and you don't always get to see that in a film version. You have to be very, very fit to do Broadway. You are literally doing a show 8 times a week, and it's very, very physical, and how can you translate that, you know? Yes, Ariana and Cynthia did sing, you know, um, on set. They did not record, the music. They sang live on set, which was in solidarity of the women who do it 8 times a week on Broadway, but how do you translate the actual physicality of movement to, the film version? And I think that number covered it. So that was really, really cool to see. Still doesn't make sense why they have a bookcase like that that just rotates, but like, hey, live your life. It's Shiz University. Why not? Yeah, I thought everyone was cast perfectly, and y'all can just shut up about Ariana Grande, okay? This is where I'm gonna get on my soapbox here. You guys can just shut up about Ariana Grande. I know everyone was so nervous once it came out that she was gonna be Glinda. And listen, any like true theater fan knows, they know that Ariana started on Broadway. Like, she started in a Broadway show called 13, which also Does not get enough credit at all, and it's a great musical, by the way. I have seen a bootleg of 13 the musical. It's great and very accurate to being 13. I will say that. And that's where Liz Gillies also started as well, and that was before Victorious, you guys. And so that's where she started. She also started in community theater before Nickelodeon and everything. And so her roots are literally in theater. So, yeah. Anybody I know Miss Mojo, the YouTube channel here, does have a video of actors and actresses who auditioned for Wicked. I don't think any of the actresses who auditioned for Glinda could have pulled it off. That's a hot take. I personally here's a really hot take. Cameron did audition for Wicked. I'm not a fan of Dove Cameron. I feel like she's just a tag along person, and I feel like doing the Disney musicals is a lot different than actually doing musicals, and even though she did Hairspray live, I feel like that's a lot different than doing an actual stage version or doing full on Broadway. Like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of Dove Cameron personally. I I definitely do not think that she could pull off what Ariana did. I definitely don't think she could have pulled off the comedic timing of it. I don't think she could have pulled off the transitions of emotionalness to the comedic timing and vice versa. Um, that's just my opinion though. So, yeah. I know Amanda Seyfried also auditioned as well, and I love, love, love Amanda Seyfried, you guys. Like, I know she wanted to kinda make the comeback from being Cosette in Les Mis, and I think we still need that, but she will forever go down in history as the best Sophie for Mamma Mia. Um, I I think she would have been fine, but I think Ariana was the right pick for this, and I know people were nervous because obviously Ariana being the huge, huge pop star that she is, but again, she also had Kristen, mentoring her since she was 10 years old, you know. Um, she's known Kristen basically her entire life. And so, yeah. Um, and Cynthia, I know some people are really nervous about Cynthia being Elphaba. Listen, there is nobody on this planet that could ever, ever put their own twist on Elphaba and translate her to film other than Cynthia Erivo. Okay? Go watch I'm Here from The Color Purple, and you guys can just shut up about her if you're nervous about her vocals, okay? She is phenomenal. There's such rawness in her that it's just unreal, the rawness in her. The little changes that she made to some of the songs, like just adding her own little twist to the songs or just like sprinkling her own little like sparkle into the songs, however you want to word that, was just so good. Um if she doesn't get an Oscar, you guys, if she doesn't get her Oscar to complete her EGOT status, we're all writing, by the way. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Okay? Okay. She was just phenomenal. I mean, and they balance each other out so, so good. And the good thing is, like, Cynthia has enough stage experience to balance out Ariana, I feel like. And what I did like about it, and this isn't much of a spoiler, I don't think, is Alphaba didn't have as much, like, comedic stuff compared to stage version. So, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler. Everybody else was amazing. Next time I see a goat, I'm gonna want it to talk to me. I thought it was gonna be really awkward to see Dr. Hall as a goat, but I was like I eventually got past it, and I was like, "No, just keep talking. Tell me what's going on." Like, yeah. And what made this entire experience so special to me, you guys, is I got to see this movie with somebody who is just so, so special to me, who has really been my real life Glinda this entire year, and who has shown me the importance of having good people with good intention in your life. And she actually did not get to w she knew nothing about Wicked going into this, and I did my best to not, like, spoil anything for her, and so she was really surprised by it, and so I'm so excited to get to watch part 2 with her, and yeah, we left the theater, like, emotional, but also, like, really pissed off. Um, and so, yeah. I was just like, listen, like, I could go with my mom, who, like I will eventually, I'll end up going with my mom, but there is one person on this planet who I have to go see it with, and this is the person who's literally my twin, who I claim to be, like, my twin flame, like, platonic twin flame, and, like, I have to experience this with her because she is the person, especially this year, who has changed me for good. And so I couldn't not see it without her, and I'm so glad that we got to experience it together, and we hugged at the end, and I told her, like, "You're my Glinda to my Elphaba." Like, and so, yeah, I had to see it with her, and yeah. So this video is almost like a half an hour long. I know it's very rambly, but like I'm trying not to spoil anything for you guys, but I think this is going to be breaking box office records. I think it's going to be reviving our faith in musical theater, and also like reviving our faith in movie musicals. That's what I wanted to say. Um like I said, this story, there's a reason why it's outstood the test of time, and why people love it so much, and why it's so important and relevant and will always be important and relevant. Um and yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see it again because I will go and see it with my mom. Um and I'm just I'm still just so happy, and yes, I will be having the entire soundtrack on replay this entire weekend. So, yeah, it kinda sucks that we have to wait an entire year, but for those who honestly are throwing a fit, though, about the fact that's in 2 parts, literally don't, because you really could not have not done it this way. I mean, I will say, it is exactly like the stage version, okay? So, it's fine. They could not have split it into 2 parts if they had not have done it as one whole thing. If they had done it as one whole thing, I promise you some theater kids would be mad because there would be things missing. I will say, this is not a spoiler, but there's nothing missing right now. So, there's nothing missing, it's all good. Go watch it even if you're not a theater person, because it's such an important story, to not always believe stuff that you're told, especially in this day and age of social media. It's too easy to get sucked into certain narratives that are being pushed onto us. And yeah, I'm sorry this video is so rambly, but if you guys liked it, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications. Like I said earlier, no matter who you are, no matter if you're LGBTQ, if you're not, no matter what your race is, no matter who the fuck you are welcomed here on this channel. I welcome you with warm arms. There's no judgment here, just loves always. And I love you guys. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys soon. Hopefully, I'll let you guys know what's going on in my life. Um, the one person who I need to tell about this big thing that's happening in my life will find out Wednesday if everything goes to as like planned basically, and then hopefully you guys will find out. So hopefully you guys find out soon. But I love you guys. Have a great weekend and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.